I must say the guests are getting...
Yoo-hoo! And thanks for tuning in to another awful movie review.
And now, some tragic local news.
Some could ask why it's taken me so long to review the films of Herschel Gordon Lewis, and that's a fair point. You know, a string of B-movies considered ultra-violent for the time of their release, with his very first production, Blood Feast, starting the trend. I saw them a long time ago, and let's be clear, Blood Feast and the equally gory counterparts that followed are remembered because they were trendsetters for the gore film subgenre, not because they were good. And Blood Feast may very well be the worst of the bunch.
Oh, it is horrible.
But just before we get going, if there's a bad movie you'd like me to review, leave me a comment down below. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and let me know your thoughts and feelings on Blood Feast.
And hope to see you all again here next week.
The Mesopotamian mythical goddess of love, Ishtar, is believed to still be worshipped by some people in the modern world.
It is said that even today, there are still followers of this gruesome goddess. However, it has never been proven.
And one of them is based in Miami, Florida, an Egyptian caterer and savage serial killer named Fuad Ramses.
Fuad Ramses? Oh, never heard of him.
With his very menacing eyebrows.
Have you ever had an Egyptian feast?
On second thoughts, maybe I'll find another caterer. He butchers young women and uses some of their limbs to cook and prepare his titular blood feast as a sacrifice to the goddess Ishtar.
Well, that's it. The whole story. Have them repeat those emergency broadcasts every half hour. I want to make sure every woman in this town hears those broadcasts.
Nice try, but if the killer manages to get inside the women's apartments that easily, staying inside their homes isn't gonna do any good. And how does this Ramses guy even get away with it so easily? He's killed dozens of innocent ladies and vanishes without a trace. The detectives have nothing on him. There's something I've got to mention. This elevates the incompetent police trope to another level.
I'm just gonna sit back, relax.
How have they not caught this guy yet? An older man with a limp, carrying a big knife outside at night, and sometimes even in broad daylight. He's not even making any efforts. How can this guy break into houses this easily and run away from the scene of the crime without ever being caught? And what the hell is he doing there?
Hey, how about me giving you a lift? You know, the mad killer wouldn't bother you being with a policeman.
Well, quite frankly, at the rate it's taken them to preserve law and order in the town, I wouldn't bet on it. Like I said, this movie was popular amongst young moviegoers because it dared to show gory mutilations that other movies never even thought they could. Even if the excessive blood looks more like thick red paint, it was just the beginning of showing gore on the screen, and they were still trying to figure it out, so I won't pick on them too much for that. This earned back tens of times its initial budget, and moviegoers were rushing to the drive-ins, were handed vomit bags, and wanted to be appalled by this shocking violence.
For Pete's sake, tell them not to eat anything.
But this put aside, if one is looking for anything more than cheap-looking blood trickling off a table, does Blood Feast deliver? You guys already have my answer. It's a big fat no. Blood Feast is an incompetent batch of steaming diarrhea cooking on a pot. This is objectively a terrible, terrible, awfully awful kind of movie.
Well, try and enjoy yourself anyway.
Leaving a fact aside that Ishtar isn't even an Egyptian goddess, but whatever, there are so many things wrong with it, not only on a plot level, but especially on a technical scale. I've been running this channel for over 3 years now, and I still was surprised as to how poorly put together this is.
This is the worst yet.
Let's start with our magnificent players, shall we?
I'm Ishtar. It's all my fault. Everything happened so bad.
If bad acting could kill, this guy would have been long gone by now. It's got some of the corniest, most terrible line deliveries mankind's ever had the displeasure of witnessing.
Because you never wear it.
Please, Molly, please.
And it's not reserved to just one or two players. The acting here is wooden all around. This is the kind of bad acting that would literally make Ed Wood jealous, and I'm only half joking.
Yeah, the newspapers are really playing this one up too.
I guess that's what you get when you hire the Playboy Model of the Month to star in your movie. Speaking of Ed Wood, Blood Feast has some of the most flagrant day and night contrasts I've seen in a motion picture. This couple are driving in broad daylight, and next scene, it's pitch black. Since it's in color, the contrast is even more obvious than in Plan 9, because at least the black and white helped to tone it down a little bit, but yeah, it's amazing. And for a university conference on ancient Egypt, is this the best decoration they could come up with? Unbelievable.
Yes, it looks bad.
Since the Lord works in mysterious ways, this disaster piece actually got a sequel in 2002, with Herschel, Gore, and Lewis returning to the director's chair for the first time in over 30 years. It even got a little-known remake in 2016, which is supposed to be even worse. I can't even start to fathom the fact that Times magazine included this stinker in their top 25 horror movies of all time. Imagine this thing being up there with movies like The Thing or The Exorcist. Well, it's obvious that I'm not quite on the same page as them. In the trash this one goes. What an awful movie.